Creepypastas are everywhere. They influence how we see our favorite games, and they make us even more interested in games we didn't really care about before. Hell, they even make games about creepypastas to let us experience the creepiest hell scenarios we read about. But which creepypastas have games that might have just slipped past you? That's what we're exploring today. Greetings gamers and welcome back to Top 10 Gaming. I'm your host Conor Monroe, and I spent 11 hours editing a TikTok for a competition. Yeah. The creepypastas, both old and new, get plenty of love on this channel, but which ones are spectacular with games that aren't terribly well known? Answering that question is why we made today's list of the top 10 creepypastas you didn't know were games. Hit like and subscribe if you haven't already so we can roll the intro. Number 10, GoMan. You ever play a hunting game on the Wii? Well, imagine that in the woods, in third person, and not like a Wii hunting game at all. The GoMan game sets you into a forest and an online co-op hunting game where you have one mission: find the GoMan. It all started on February 23rd, 2019, with a call for help from a Greenfield village. It was said that a mysterious creature, like half goat, half man, all demon, was attacking people and animals. Once they got this call, a military research team was set out. The game allows you and your buddies to use tactics, special equipment, and traps to try and locate the beast. You can set up cameras, bear traps, lights, fly drones in search of him, and eventually use everything you've learned to put an end to the demon terrorizing Greenfield. I'm sure Sonic would appreciate it. This game is fairly cheap, running only $5 Canadian, and it's actually fairly spooky, especially when you're just chilling and then you see two glowing red eyes coming closer and closer. Also, I know that Sonic's from Green Hill Zone, but it's a joke. Come on. And at number 9, the Rake. The Rake is another classic creepypasta that, while maybe not having a full mainstream game to himself, he does have fans in other media, like Roblox for example, where the game The Rake Classic Edition makes its mark. Being released in 2016, originally before being updated more recently, The Rake is a multiplayer stop-it-slender type game where your goal is to survive the rake and hide for as long as possible. If you are an avid Roblox player, you may have played this one before, and honestly I'm considering playing it, even if it isn't paintball, because it just looks that good and scary. The game has plenty of badges for all you completionists out there, including meeting the creator in-game, which currently has a 0.0% chance, even though 644 people have gotten this chief, surviving Blood Hour, killing the Rake, finding a supply drop. You get the idea. The whole concept behind this is don't die. There are locations with tools, scrap metal you can use to forge great weapons, and supply drops to help you along the way. However, you need to be prepared, because the Rake doesn't take prisoners. And 8, Garfield. If you know Garfield, he is basically Garfield that ate too much. He turns into a gross monster that is very, very well represented in the game Lasagna Boy. If you don't have the money or don't want to play the game at all, you can watch me play through it on our channel. I played through the whole thing. Those are some of our most popular gameplay videos, and it's honestly what made us do gameplay more often. So if you want to see that, go check it out. Basically, you just need to avoid getting seen by Garfield and his merry band of nasty critters in an effort to try and get to the next level, and then ultimately fight the boss using guided missiles. It was a sadly long time before I figured out that I needed to guide them with the arrow keys. It was a lot. And at 7, Theater. Theater Unrest is a game based on the Theater creepypasta. I've also played this game on the channel, and oh my god, it terrified me. The game starts off simple. You grab a ticket, head to the teller, then watch a movie, then repeat. But the game is trippy, like layers of fear trippy. Things change and get worse, and oh my god, the moments of terror that befell me in this game were extremely haunting and remain with me to this day. There was one moment where I was backing away from a creepy mother-like figure, and then I turn a corner, and a creepy freaking mother lover came at me and just charged me. And oh my god, the face it had sunken eyes, a bloody mouth, or maybe it was the other way around. It was horrifying, and it's by far one of the best videos on this channel, and it didn't get enough love. It was the first scary game I played here. It's like 30 minutes long, it's the whole game, so be sure to go check it out if you like me screaming like a little girl. What the hell? Holy Jesus! Okay. And at 6, SCP Foundation. While the SCP Foundation has plenty of games, they all include the letters S, C, and P, but the Foundation has a game created that was inspired by their stories but doesn't directly include them, and that I thought was perfect for this list. It's called Control by Remedy Entertainment and 505 Games. After a secretive agency in New York is invaded by an otherworldly threat, you become the new director struggling to regain control in the supernatural third-person action-adventure game. While the game may not include the SCPs we've all come to know and fear from the online stories, We can only be excited to see what other people can come up with using the expansive lore of the SCP universe as inspiration. The game appears to give you supernatural abilities like telekinesis, but it also appears like the ones you are fighting have those abilities as well. Maybe you were the monster all along. Even though it was set to be released in 2019, the game is not yet available on Steam, but you can add it to your wishlist to get updates on it when it comes out. Plus, you can watch the trailer. You can watch it on YouTube too, but like, Steam page, you know. Halfway through number 5, Polybius. If you are unaware of the legend of Polybius, basically it was a game that was a part of a government-run crowdsourced psychology experiment in Portland, Oregon in 1981. The machines were supposedly producing psychoactive and addictive effects in players, with the machines placed in very public and accessible places. These machines were said to be visited frequently by men in black to data mine the results of their testing. The actual version isn't as addictive or frequented by men in better suits than me. No, it's just a fast, trippy tunnel shooter that is available in either flat or VR modes. However, I don't know how the whole VR thing works. I don't know if you're above the character, I don't know if you're like literally going down it. The game contains 50 levels of blissful tranquility, shooting action, and are set to an incredible soundtrack. The PC version was used as the basis for a Nin music video, and the PS4 version was Edge Magazine's VR Game of the Year in 2017, so I mean, it's got a good reputation. The game runs $8 Canadian on Steam, so that's basically like $2 American, and basically free in Britain. Not actually though, but you know, jokes. And then 4, the uncle who works for Nintendo. In grade school, we all heard the same stories. Whether it be school or in online games, there always seemed to be someone who had a relative that worked for Microsoft, or Sony, or even Nintendo. But we never really believed them until they were able to show us something cool, be it how to get Mew, how to summon Masigno, or hell, even what a new Pokemon would be, even if it was never right. We all heard at least one person claim that they had an uncle who worked for Nintendo, and this old adage ended up growing creepier over time, slowly popping up on Reddit with horror stories and what it would really be like to be in these situations. And that's the aesthetic this game takes full advantage of. You're 11 years old, sleeping over at your best friend's house. You and your friend like video games, and your friend has a lot of cool games. Wanna know why? Because he has an uncle who works for Nintendo, and he's coming over to visit at midnight. The game is playable in browser at ztool.itch.io, but you can easily look it up and then click the first link you see. Plus, this game may take control of your browser, so be careful. Cover the webcam. Getting close to the end of number 3, Coney Island. At first, Coney Island sounds like a brony's dream that the channel would make me play just for shits and gigs. However, this game is actually a suspenseful puzzle game in disguise. You're in limbo, trapped in a malevolent and malfunctioning arcade game devised by the devil himself. Oh, and the game isn't about ponies. The game basically tells you to break the machine before it breaks you, and it requires you to do some meta-level hacker-type skills in order for the game to actually load and for you to get pony lasers to blast the devil back to, well, hell. The game gets extremely meta and is totally a creepypasta game. Even just watching a 7-minute clip, the game makes you type out yes master no matter what you type in. If you type in a string of curse words, it'll say yes master at one point. It gets hella meta, hella fast, and if you want some of this creep factor in your life, I highly suggest it. It's only $5 on Steam. That's American. And ultimately, in number 2, Tales from the Gas Station. After getting into an accident, a man is forced to check a nearby gas station for help. But there is too much supernatural crap going on, it might as well be Sam or Dean who got into the accident with Baby. Poor Baby. The game Haunted Gas Station is very reminiscent of Tales from the Gas Station. However, this game is incredibly short. Taking only 5 minutes to play, speedrunning this is no difficult feat. However, the scares are actually quite interesting. It's not a perfect recreation of Tales from the Gas Station, but like Polybius wasn't a perfect recreation either, so I think it's good enough for this list, right? Right? The game has been called several things, with the overall reviews being mostly positive. The comments say the game is a masterpiece, that it's too short, that it was terrible, that it was amazing. It's kind of indecisive, but the reviews are mostly positive, so that can speak for itself. Or you can just try it and be the judge. It's free on Steam after all. Finally, in number 1, Pokemon Black. Pokemon Black is the story of a Pokemon game that some would call a bootleg game. The author of the story likes bootleg games and finds them enjoyable even when they aren't playable, until one day where he encounters Pokemon Black. And no, it's not the black version that Nintendo officially released. This takes place in the Kanto region, where your only starter would be Ghost, and it had the sprite of the spirits in Pokemon Tower before getting the Sylph Scope. The only move it would know is Curse, which is weird because that's not a Generation 1 move. And whenever it fought, the defending Pokemon wouldn't be able to attack. And once the move Curse was used, the screen would cut to black and the defending Pokemon would just disappear. It's probably dead. Eventually, you would see the world years later after your reign of terror ended, but what would be left? you're able to find out in the video game version of this creepypasta created for your gaming pleasure. Is it pleasure? I mean, like, if you enjoy the suffering of others, I guess it would be. There we have it, friends, the top 10 creepypastas you didn't know were games. Which ones surprised you on this list, or are there any that you've actually played? Let me know down below, and on your way down, be sure you hit like and subscribe for daily gaming content, and ring that bell to join the clan and level up. Thank you all so much for watching. I have been and shall remain Connor Monroe, and I'll see you in another video. Originally, before being updated more recently, the game contains 50 levels of blissful... Damn it! Jesus. Sorry, editor, I didn't mean to just clap. Also, hi. How are you? How are you doing? Genuinely curious.